As we enter into this discussion, let us recognize the unique model of public safety in the city of Scottsdale. Under the Scottsdale City Charter, council members are granted the power to act to protect and safeguard the rights, interests, safety, morality, health, and welfare of the city and its inhabitants. You are asking the voter to give you, by election, the political office to exercise this authority. Administratively, this power is currently implemented through the city's Public Safety Department, headed by Public Safety Chief Alan Rodbell, and includes the city's Police Department, headed by Police Chief Rodbell, and the city's Fire Department, headed by Fire Chief Garrett Olson. This combination provides the team of professionals who manage all levels of emergency response for Scottsdale. Now let's get into the topic. Please describe your view of public safety as a city priority, and how or where do you rank public safety with other city services in Scottsdale?
It is critical, absolutely critical, in this time of year, especially that our fire is under control. Tough to ignore what's going on all around us, and I so greatly appreciate the efforts of our fire department and how safe I feel. In addition, priority, the police in our world, there is no qualification or quantification for this in my mind. It is number one in my import, along with fire, in our responsibilities.
Public safety is the number one issue for the city. And based on that and understanding the fiscal responsibility we all want and look towards the city, one of the issues that we've been recently addressing, and with the 2% pay increase that was discussed, is the fact that we've been losing seasoned professionals for both the fire department and the police department to surrounding cities. We've invested money in these people. We have to now go through another exercise of recruiting and training, and that's money the city's lost that we can't get back. So I am fully supportive of competitive salaries to these individuals so that we can retain them and give our citizens who deserve the best just that.
Thank you. I don't think you're going to find much disagreement that public safety is number one. But in terms of identifying that a little bit, if you think about it, there are some other pretty critical services. You know, your water's pretty critical too. So is trash pickup in streets and things like that. When it really comes down to it, you know, in my neighborhood, we get trash pretty regularly, and we get bulk pickup once a month. If the trash comes a day late, or the bulk pickup starts to come once every 5 weeks, I don't think anybody's going to fall over. You know, even if your water service were interrupted for a short period of time, an hour or so, I don't think that would be too tremendously critical. But if I'm in my house and it's on fire and I call you, I'd sure like it if you'd be there right away. And same goes for dealing with an intruder or any kind of a crime. And that's why I think public safety not only is the most important, it has the least to give in terms of where we can make cuts, where we can streamline. We have to do this with great caution because these are truly life-saving issues. And while we do have to have responsibility and make sure the numbers pencil out, I do think it needs to be top priority, and it's the bucket that should be filled first. Thank you.
Public safety is super important to our community. You are the public face in so many ways. When things are bad, when things are not going well, you are the public faces that we're seeing. So absolutely, public safety is a top priority. With regard to the pay issues, and what I've had to deal with at my business is having to make sure you have the right balance. When things are tight, you have to make sure that the right things are getting funded and taken care of. And I think we have, as a city, are showing that we are supportive of public safety and the police and fire.
Well, I was going to say public safety is number 3, but that's not even funny. Everybody knows it's number 1. And the reason it's number 1 is because when people get together and they form a community, and you get enough people, and you need services done, you need the roads repaired, you need water, you need whatever, and you want to be protected, and the people get together and they decide to form a municipality and be taxed in order to hire people to protect them. I mean, it's just an obvious thing. Everybody does it. all across the country, all across the world, this is what we do. Otherwise, we all have to just protect ourselves and hope for the best. So we are willing to be taxed to pay for people to protect us. And I am more than willing to do that. And that's why I think it's the #1 priority. And I think it always will be, because we always want to be protected.
Well, I recently experienced why public safety is priority #1 with the emergency evacuation of STARS and 73 developmentally disabled individuals. What was really important there was that the fire and police departments came together as a team and worked together as a team with our staff for a successful outcome. It's very, very important. You know, we have embarked on a new business model for our public safety, and that has brought the police and fire department under one umbrella. I think that is influencing the teamwork, and when you have teamwork, you've got better service delivery. Public safety is #1. It's the #1 contributing factor to our quality of life. We feel safe in Scottsdale.
Again, to reiterate, public safety as the #1, and Ms. Korte took a little bit of what I actually was going to say, and it's something that the moderator spoke about, and it's really the unique way that public safety has been able to form together as one and work as a team. If you go to other cities around the Phoenix metropolitan area, they're trying to be like the public safety department here in Scottsdale, which really, I think, brings a lot of the heritage and unique characteristics that Scottsdale was built on, of thinking outside of the box, thinking outside of the norm, no different than the Indian Bend Wash. Public safety challenged the norm, and the public safety officers accepted that. And now it's working in a way, in the synergy that it works with. Few will find a complaint where police and fire, there's not a competition, angry competition, but more so a friendly competition between them, and they work together for one goal, and that's to improve the quality of life for the citizens of Scottsdale. And I think that's what they were ultimately trying to do, was to streamline that, be fiscally responsible, and find a unique approach to the public safety sector that really hasn't been thought of before. And today, like I mentioned, not only the city, but state and other places are looking at Scottsdale as the model where we can actually operate under one public safety director and work together as one. So that's one aspect of public safety, besides being, I think, the #1 priority, is government's ability to keep citizens safe. That's something that I applaud everybody in public safety for doing and embracing.
Thank you.
As I mentioned before, I did a program on Channel 11 about public safety, and the model that we have here in Scottsdale is unique. And yes, it has improved the camaraderie between the two departments, but I don't believe we could have combined these two departments under one person and call it public safety if it wasn't for the camaraderie that was already there. Chief Rodbell and at the time Willie McDonald, they worked together great, and they really were the model for having a combined program. And now we have the Chief Rodbell with Garrett Olson, and there's not been a hiccup in that process. So I think it's a fantastic way to establish a public safety department. I hope other cities will do it. It means that we could find efficiencies that was helpful to us in the last few budget years, and it also has improved teamwork again. So as I mentioned in my opening statement, it is my first priority. I'm glad that we have a public safety department that encompasses both police and fire. And don't forget, fire is a lot of emergency medical service. It's not just putting out fires. And that is very, very important to this city. As we have an aging population, we're going to have more and more people that are needing emergency medical services.
Well, clearly, in my mind and my perspective, there is no other service for the city of Scottsdale more important than public safety, and that includes both fire and police. But those two organizations and their needs are not monolithic. They're different. And I'm not totally convinced that having one person that comes from one side or the other is absolutely the best way to manage two different departments. So I think that still needs a little bit of discussion. But clearly, public safety, police and fire is the #1 priority. Currently, I think there's a stranglehold by the city manager on some of the resources that they desperately need to increase their ability to perform their job, and that needs to be addressed, and I will address that immediately.
You know, the gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen that wear the badge, they have an authority and a trust invested into them that not even the President of the United States has. And we need to be mindful of that. They can make a split-second decision to stop a threat that can result in somebody losing their life. And to me, that makes that position pretty high up on the rank and file. So from my vantage point, there's not a more important job in the city of Scottsdale than public safety. It should be funded accordingly.
Thank you, Mr. Crawford.
The one thing that I can say about the public safety in this city is that it is utmost and foremost professional. I spoke to this police officer. He was doing a training session. I told him I wouldn't use his name or what he was training to do. But I asked him a few questions. And the consensus was that the police officers would rather have lost that 2% than have a brother officer not work and rather lose positions. This one officer said to me, in fact, I would rather not have my own personal car and not take a vacation because I love this job so much. And I said, I don't understand why you have to make those choices. The work that you do is imperative to maintaining the integrity of our city. People who come here expect a certain level of excellence of the city, and police and fire are an integral part of that. So why would you have to decide, based on your economics, not to own a vehicle or not to be able to take a vacation? Now, I don't know about you, and I'm sure it's been expressed well by members of the panel. Someone who suffers injuries or puts their life at risk every day occupies just a little bit different a status in our town than most folks do. They get work-related injuries that most people don't get. Gee, I don't have a problem with stabbings or someone concealing a weapon and pulling it on me. That generally doesn't happen to me in my work, but they do. A firefighter will run into a building without hesitation and risk his own life or her own life to save who's inside. I'm not usually asked to do that. We have quotes here. We lost 26 officers last year. We have one of the lowest median salaries, $49,878. Now, we've recently seen a pay increase. It's been based on the lowest and the highest, 105% of that total. And of course, we'll hopefully see that go up.
Mr. Belli, we're...
Yep. Okay, I'll wrap it up.
Please.
But again, this is our priority. In order for Scottsdale to say the excellent city it is, the professionals that guard us and look after our property must be taken care of. Thank you.
I don't think anyone here is going to dispute that public safety is the #1 need in this city. And can you just imagine the headlines for tourism? Welcome to Scottsdale, the safest city in the valley, 17 hours a day. It just doesn't play. So unless you're willing to really invest in public safety and to have people not only read it, but feel it. And I need to tell you, when I walk the entertainment district, the only reason why, outside of having someone nice, big, and tall with me, is the police presence there. That gives you the sense of safety, the visibility. Unless you have a town that tourism really, truly believes is safe and hospitable, and you're talking about visible police, you're talking about the fire departments, it's just talk. It's that visibility and feeling that you are really in a safe place. Our fire department doesn't do a lot of fires, thank goodness, because of our sprinkler systems, but they do an awful lot of emergency rescue. And if you don't think a fire getting to your house when you have a medical emergency with a 30-second delay is going to make a difference between life and death, I've dealt with a lot of kids who stop breathing, and I got to tell you, if it wasn't for the fire department coming, and this isn't the school district, you'd be in a world of hurt. So it goes without saying that public safety is the #1 need of any city.